Okay, so what I'm going to do is go over this story that says the U.S. Court of Appeals in D.C. discourages lawyers from filing using the Garamond font. And this story comes from Fox News. Before I get into this story, before I get in this all this information about this, if you like this podcast, if you like this videos, YouTube videos, go ahead and press the subscribe button for me, as well as to press the notification bell. With all that being said, let's get into it. Okay, let's get into this real quick. I'm going to bring the article real quick so you can see what I'm talking about here. And here it is. It said, word nerds be warned. Word nerds, okay. When filing briefs in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, don't type in the centuries-old Garamond font. Court clerk Mark J. Langer told lawyers this week that the court will now officially discourage the use of Garamond, arguing that it's hard to read than popular alternatives. The briefs that use Garamond as a typeface can be more difficult to read, and use of this typeface is discouraged, he wrote in a notice released Tuesday. Court rules require the typeface be at least 14 point and that it must include serifs, which are the little wings in some fonts. I did not know that fonts have little wings and that they pay attention to that, but now I know. And these fonts are Times New Roman is a serif font, as Arial is not a serif font. But now, that's my spot here. But now the new guidance aimed at making reading documents easier. The court clerk is encouraging briefs to be filed in Century and Times New Roman and explicitly not Garamond. The court has determined that certain typefaces, such as Century and Times New Roman, are more legible than others, particularly Garamond, which appears to be smaller than the other two typefaces. Now, here's the interesting part. The circuit also officially revised its handbook on internal practices to include the update. So that's very interesting, don't you think? That the court decided that it was going to actually change its book of internal practices over a font, that it was so important to change this font that just it had to be done. It had to go to court, and the court had to decide to change it. And now they're highly discouraging and really making it an internal practice that lawyers cannot submit in the Garamond font. And I've done things in Garamond, and I thought that was an okay font. Sometimes I use Georgia, sometimes I use Garamond, sometimes I use Arial. But now they're talking about it has to have the little wings on it. I didn't even know, like I said, I didn't know that the fonts had wings or paid attention to wings. I just used the font that I thought looked the best or was the best to write something in or type something in. But I just found this really, really interesting. I mean, they changed their whole, again, I have to say, they changed their whole book of internal practices. Now, I think the funniest thing would be, well, maybe not funny, is the lawyer who's like got all his stuff ready and everything like that, and has just about to submit it, and they make this change right before the lawyer submits it, and then the lawyer has to go back and say, "Dang it! Now I gotta go back and put everything into a different font because I can't use Garamond anymore." And so that just increases his or her work. But I just think it would be not, I mean, I don't know if it's hilarious, but it just seems like a funny situation that a lawyer could be ready to submit everything, and right at that point he's like, nope, or she's like, nope, I can't do it. I gotta go back and change it to an Arial font, or I gotta look for a font with wings, no less. Anyway, that just seems funny to me. Maybe it's not to you, but I think it's just part of the crazy world that we live in. And so let me know what you think about this, because I found the story and I was like, and this story was done back in March, so maybe people are kind of more used to it by now. But that's the first time that I seen it, and I wasn't even on YouTube back then. So I just thought I would bring this to your attention if you haven't seen it. Maybe you have. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think it's funny. Let me know if you think it's a little bit crazy. Or let me know if you like, yeah, that's the font that I want. That's the font that I use all the time, that New Times Roman. And I would never use that Garamond font. Anyway, hope this has been enjoyable too. Hope this has been fun as well. If you like the video, of course, go ahead and subscribe for me, as I said before. And have a great day.